So somebody prank called my grandmother pretending to be a lawyer for my cousin who hit a pregnant woman with his car, leaving her in the ICU and him extremely injured, so he wasn't able to get on the phone. And this lawyer is asking my grandmother for cash as bail slash retainer for him. This story is so messed up and so absolutely infuriating. I just want to tell you guys the whole thing so you can go and warn your parents and grandparents to never give in to schemes like this. So for background, my grandma's 90 years old. Mentally, she's with it. Physically, she's all right. She can get around her house, but she really struggles with stairs, so she doesn't go anywhere alone. She has a nurse who will take her places, and she has my family that will take care of her. Anyway, she gets a call. She answers the call. It is a guy claiming to be a lawyer for my cousin who has hit a pregnant woman with his car, leaving her in the ICU, and he has a broken nose and there's a lot of blood in his mouth and his teeth are knocked out, so he can't talk right now. The lawyer then proceeds to tell her that he went out and with colleagues and had a beer at lunch, so they were going to get him for drunk driving as well. He tells her that my cousin is so embarrassed and so ashamed, he doesn't want to tell his wife and he doesn't want to tell his parents or siblings, so he called her because he knew he could trust her. This lawyer then goes on to say that he needs something like $3,000 in cash as a retainer and as bail. So my grandma's like, I don't have $3,000 in cash. He's like, okay, well then you need to go to the nearest bank right now and you need to withdraw $3,000. And she's like, I can't get to a bank. My nurse doesn't come for a few more hours. My son is out of town. My daughter's out of town. What am I supposed to do? She's freaking out. He's like, well, you need to call a taxi right now. You need to call a taxi and go to the bank right now. So then he gives her instructions on what to do with the cash. So he says once she has it, she needs to put it inside of either a magazine or a newspaper and leave it on the bench outside of the bank, and he is going to go by with her grandson and pick it up. And she says, can I please see him? And he says, no, he doesn't want you to see him like this because he's all bloody and an absolute mess and he's super embarrassed. So my grandma is devastated in shambles. She knows that she's not supposed to, but she calls my uncle anyways and tells him this whole situation. And he said, that's not true. I am with my son right now and he is completely fine. So she's relieved, but still devastated and so shaken up over this whole situation because everything sounded so real. The people on the phone knew the names of our family members. They knew where she lived. They knew the bank that she used. And it's just a crazy and scary situation that could happen to anybody. So warn your family members because I've heard of this exact same thing happening to so many people all across the US. So warn your people.